appreciate, Ben, you taking the time for this conversation as we go through Legacy Forward Made Easy.
Pleasure.
As you know, I've read the book.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely hold my questions towards the end of each conversation of the chapters. But just to start off is before we dig into the first chapter very deep, what led you to write this book?
I have believed for the longest time that everyone has a powerful story. And whereas some leaders become popular because of their journey or because of their methodology as to what they wish to accomplish based on their purpose of their life or passion in life and so on. And that's where they begin to announce their accomplishments, achievements, goals, and all of that. There are numerous ones, as far as the leaders, who choose a different path and they don't want that kind of name and fame and or the popularity that goes with their work or their accomplishments and all that. And I had observed this individual do that kind of work and accomplish great results without the expectations of name, fame, popularity, and or monetary reward. Not only that, but I felt that what drove his life and the purpose is, from my perspective, my observation, I owed it to the larger communities across the globe, especially in these times, so that it'll work as a guide, work as a lighthouse, it'll work as a radar system, whatever you want to call it. And that's where this is a book of combination of my observation of probably close to 30 years of this individual's life and his experiences and his approach to life and leadership.
It's very interesting in the first chapter and reading throughout the chapter, but especially the first few paragraphs, it's very descriptive. And when I say descriptive, colors, sounds, geography, why start off the book in that manner?
Brilliant. I think if you recall, and if I were to ask you, what's the best movie you have seen that has stayed with you in your life and in your memory? I think there are quite a few that'll come up. Mm-hmm. But if I were to have you list first top 5, there are only a few of them that'll make the list. Given that, I didn't want this book or this reading experience limited to a location, because when you look at a tree, when you look at the beautiful sunset, mm-hmm. whether you are in Tahiti or you are in Hawaii or you are in California or you are on the west coast of England or France, they all have beautiful value to everyone who enjoys it. And that's what I wanted to present the readers with, that regardless of the location of the book and the anecdotes, you will still be able to enjoy it, because forget the location, just pay attention to the beauty of what I am claiming for you to dive into.
One thing I found very interesting is going through chapter by chapter is the title you've given for each chapter. And in the first chapter you have titled The Star.
Yes.
And what I was wondering is, as far as why it's the star, and if you could give us a little bit of background as to the message you're trying to get across to the reader in this first chapter.
Brilliant. First of all, the only permanence in the universe is either the sun or the astronomical stars. Yes, from time to time, the researchers and scientists will find some other new entities in the sky at night, but the star tends to be the definite measure, and or our own studies, and almost like a roadmap or a guide again. And in terms of ancient times, if you think about it, sailors in the dark of night, irrespective of where they were, they would always look for the North Star. And North Star became their guiding avenue, or the path that they needed to take in order to get to their destination. And the reason I titled this first chapter as The Star is because of this individual diving into his life at a very young age by recognizing that this star, which his mother pointed to, will become his atlas, North Star, GPS, whatever you want to call it. And of course, next chapter onwards, we'll start using the names rather than this individual all the time. I don't mean to create or build a mystery around the protagonist of this book. So, does that answer your question as far as the stuff?
It does, absolutely. And I'd say one of the things I've noticed in starting with the first chapter is it doesn't just give a roadmap, but also a blueprint.
Yeah.
Is one of the words that really came to my mind as I read this book for life. And I think, like you mentioned as well, as the North Star, no matter where we are, regardless
Of the location. Yeah.
of our location, we're all able to identify the North Star.
Yes, and we are always looking for it.
And we're always looking for it, that's right. As our guiding light.
Yes.
As our guiding light.
Yes.
Excellent. Good. And with that being said, especially from this chapter, what do you feel myself in life, or any of us viewing this, what lessons we would get out of this chapter, where we would be able to utilize in our own life, for our own discovery, for our own development, progress.
My purpose of doing that, and my purpose in life has been, or my methodology in life has been, I will always begin and start at the top of the funnel with a big picture, and then slowly pull it down to where it's filtered to the level where I can customize it for my own learning and thriving in life on a continuum. The reason I started, or this chapter begins at the universal phenomenon, if you think about it, where the world, the nature, the natural surroundings continue to go and move as they did yesterday, as they did 100 years ago, and as they will do it tomorrow, as well as they will do it 100 years from now. But begin to filter it down to how does it affect us individually. And if you recall, the first episode, or the anecdote from this first chapter, is it's only this one individual that is affected so heavily by what's happened in his personal life.
Right.
And of course, his mom is affected as well, in turn. But so what? And that is precisely the lesson that I wish for readers to take, and that is stop paying attention to your environment. Begin to look inward so that you will be able to find that star that you're looking for, or in your words, the guiding light that you're looking for. But introspectively, we all must ask the right questions at the right time in order to surface the appropriate answers.
Excellent. I think that's perfect, and I really think from a first chapter standpoint, we've done a very good job of really understanding on why we started here,
Yeah.
and definitely look forward to getting into chapter 2.
Yeah, brilliant. Hey, but Peter, you have read this book,
Yes.
and I don't recall your thoughts about so vividly, but more importantly, first of all, why did you pick up the book? And two, after reading it, what did you think of what you took away from the book?
So one of the phrases I always what's always been asked from me and told to myself from when I was always a little child was, what legacy will you leave? My parents always mentioned that to me. So immediately I see the book Legacy Forward, Made Easy. Right? What got me was legacy, and obviously forward, but made easy. Great. Because a lot of times what I've noticed is I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself. So when I see made easy, I said, well, maybe it's time I read this just to see how it's made easy. And as I opened the book and I realized that truth to thy oneself, you need to be truthful and respectful to others that are all around you. And that is a part of what we, and I don't want to say leave behind, but because you don't leave it behind, it's what moves forward. And that's really one of the main reasons why when I picked up this book, that it made it a very clear path from chapter to chapter to chapter. And by the time I got to the end of it, I would say I was less intimidated in life as to what legacy will I be able to leave for it to move forward. Yet it took a lot of pressure off of me to see that it is made easy.
Thank you. Wow. And therefore, whatever other questions that you may have, I'd love to be able to help answer those as we continue to drive on this journey together.
Absolutely.
Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you.